And welcome to the Couch Uncensored. I am Stephanie Harrington, and on this show, I share my journey of how I've transformed my life, how I've healed myself to living a happier, healthier, and wealthier lifestyle. And today, I just want to jump right on into what I have to share. And one of our motivational guru always says his name is Les Brown, and he always say, if there is no enemy inside, the enemy outside can do you no harm. And that spoke volume to me today in such a deep way, deeper than when I've heard it many, many a times before. And it's the perceptions and the narrative and the image of an enemy that we have created inside. Now, for me, I like to share how I was a victim in my own life. I don't like to point fingers. I like to share what I have been through. I used to believe there is an enemy. I used to believe that things are coming against me and I'm under attack. I used to believe like they're haters and wicked people and things that are trying to stop me and block my blessing and take away what's mine. And you know what? It's okay. I don't judge myself no more for how I was because I didn't know better. And we are all a product of our environment. And I was a product of my environment. But the great thing is that I'm able to be aware of that and change it. And that's what I'm doing right now, transforming my life, healing myself from the narrative that I used to tell myself. So let's talk about the enemy inside, how we form enemies. But for me, I form enemy based off of, first, I form an enemy based off of the word devil or Satan. We always hear about there's Satan, there's devil, there's wickedness, there's evil. So I form an enemy. That's one. I already gave a perception and I gave a role, and it's taken form because when I am going through things and when things don't go the way I want it to go, or I meet a misfortune, I always throw my darts out and they pick it up. And I'm okay with that. Not knowing that, no, enemy. It's the enemy you are keeping inside the prison, the mental prison that I am creating that space for that narrative. And then I'm not only creating space for it, I'm nurturing in it and I'm feeding it by consistently repeating the same thing over and over and believing it. I want you to hear me. And your enemy may not be like me growing up in a religious background. Your enemy could be family members. You feel like a family member don't like you, or are they are jealous of you, or who gives a shit anyways. When you look at things now, it's basically everybody has a mind and they're free to think what they want. But as long as you don't keep that enemy inside of you, can do you no harm. But the moment you believe that that person is evil, that person is wicked, that person is trying to stop me, you just open that door and nurturing that belief and feeding it, and it becomes bigger and bigger, and you're forming an enemy, right? It could be you lose a job and you feel like the world's against you and they didn't like you, and you could come up with different reason, because we all can, because if you're looking for something, you can find it. I know too well how that goes. And you believe it. And you created a perception, and then you start feeding it and you start nurturing that belief. And guess what? It starts taking form and it becomes an enemy in your mind. And what I am trying to say to you today with this quote, because it's such an amazing quote, and it takes a lot to go into and break down that don't keep any enemy inside. No perception. Nothing is against you. No one is against you. No one or nothing. Don't think about the government system or the legal system, or just don't believe the perception of there is a certain organization and certain things that are coming after you and they're wicked. Refuse to accept that narrative, because the moment you accept that narrative, you create space for that to grow. You're nurturing it based off of what you believe, and you don't understand that the story you tell yourself is the one you are creating. You don't understand how powerful you are, that when you arbor these things within inside you, what you're doing is giving life to that narrative, and then that narrative take form and start walking amongst men and start becoming a thing. But it could stop at you by you being the gatekeeper in your own mind and saying, no enemy in this house. Because if there is no enemy inside, the enemy outside can do no harm. And I'm not delusional that there is not stuff out there that I don't want to welcome, but I won't give my time, my attention, and my energy to it. Rather, I will allow peace, love, happiness, and health to flow through this house so I can give life to that. And I'm sure you want to give life through you. Until next time, I am Stephanie Harrington. I hope this resonates with you, and I hope this helps you to live a happier, healthier, and wealthier life. Bye.